Now, organized labor on Tuesday urged the government at various levels in the country to ensure that the welfare of workers is paramount in whatever policy decisions they are taking. Now, that's not all. Speaking at the pre-May Day lecture in Abuja as part of activities to mark the 2024 International Workers' Day celebrations scheduled for Wednesday, the president of the TUC, the trade union of Nigeria, Comrade Festus Osifo, said the welfare and interests of the people should be considered first in driving any government policy.
The TUC president, represented by the deputy president of the center, Comrade Etim Okon, said the theme of the 2024 May Day celebration, Workers First, is very significant because there's a need to put the people first and to put the workers first in a very government policy, in every government policy. Now, on Wednesday, beyond the May Day speeches, the march past and the agitations that usually marks the Workers' Day celebration, many workers in Nigeria took time out to unwind, all right? And we're going to bring you a report later on in the course of the program from our correspondent in Abuja, Marvelous Obomanu, who caught up with the many expressions of workers, celebrations. He joined as they celebrated, and he also joined them to discuss prioritizing the needs and welfare of Nigerian workers, along with Mr. Tommy Etim Okon, the Deputy President, Trade Union Congress. First, Deputy President, Trade Union Congress, and he joins us live. Mr. Etim, thank you so much for coming on, and a very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Etim, please.
All right, Doctor. Good to have you on the show. So first off, sir, let's get from you what your general opinion was regarding the Workers' Day celebration and workers across Nigeria. What was the mood exactly like, if you were going to put it in your own description?
Well, the mood was in two folds. One, a very relatively not pleasant because of the socio-economic challenges, and of course, in the other way, we are happy to be alive to witness the day. It's a day set aside to review and also to celebrate the effort of the workers. When you look back to what we've been able to achieve with a very harsh socio-economic environment, it's worth celebrating.
Well, Dr. Okon, let's talk about the theme for this year's Workers' Day celebration, which is Workers First, right? The celebrations, what specific initiatives or policies do you believe are crucial for improving the working conditions and overall welfare of Nigerian workers?
If you look at the ILO, when we talk about the job creations, we talk about the workers' rights, social protection, and we talk about collective bargaining and social dialogue in terms of the welfare in the world of work. It's also boiled down to the fact that in every government policy, workers must be considered at the center of it. Because, no matter the technology you have, you find out that labor must play a critical role. Even with artificial intelligence, you need human effort to activate it. So for us, we believe very much that people should be put first, the workers should be considered first, and the workers should be involved in every policy of government, because you talk about the economic prosperity, you cannot address it without human effort. So that is why we play very central. And to us, we are very confident that once we are involved, the tendency is that we put in our best to ensure that things work the way it's supposed to work.
Okay.
You know, because we have the skill, we understand the dynamics, and our people are everywhere. You know,
okay,
you cannot be the goods that laid a golden egg without being involved in the process of being the omelets.
All right, Dr. Okon. So, Doctor, there were very many speeches across the country at every celebration in every state. Some from the government, some from the trade union, some from the labor union. But there were also ultimatums given by the NLC and the TUC when it comes to regarding the minimum wage decision. Effectively, after that one, there was an increase in civil servant salaries. But then there was also another ultimatum given for the reversal of hike in electricity tariffs. Now, 7 days, what happens after 7 days if the tariffs remain the same?
Well, the issue that affects the minimum wage, the organized labor has given till 31st of May, you know, it is for government to expedite action, because if you look at the committee was set up in February, and this is May, so it expected that by now it will have been rounded up. But be that as it may, since it is still work in progress, we believe that government can expedite action for us to have a meaningful national a minimum wage, you know, because of the socioeconomic challenges. The masses are suffering, the workers are suffering, and the economy is not friendly. You can see what is happening today. After the removal of the fuel subsidy, we are still experiencing a lot of queues in the filling stations, which is supposed not to be so. Because we believe that with the removal of the fuel subsidy, there will be an interplay of the market forces, you know, for us to have each free distribution of fuel. But now the reverse is the case. And again, you look at government waking up to increase the electricity tariff from 66 naira per kilowatt to 225 naira per kilowatts, almost 300% increase. And this was done with impunity against the provision of the Act, because the Act has made provision that there should be stakeholders in engagement, but that was not done. So policies were not meant to impoverish the masses, rather it was to see how we can get a relief for the masses and also get Nigerian economy out of the woods.
Dr. Okon,
so that is why the ultimatum becomes very necessary.
Dr. Okon, I have a last question for you, but before that, I understand that our correspondent, Marvelous Obomanu, has joined us live now. He was in Abuja covering all of the events for the May Day celebration. Marvelous, are you there? Marvelous, good morning to you. I will try to fix your audio, but Dr. Okon, let me come to you back, right? You just talked about the fuel scarcity and also the fuel subsidy removal. Now, with current economic challenges that Nigerians are facing, especially Nigerian workers, what strategies do you propose that the government projects to protect the interests of workers beyond just wages, beyond the increment of salaries to over 600,000 naira?
Well, government is fond of embarking on policy without involving the organized labor. Like the case of the removal of fuel subsidy, we just had Mr. President made an announcement, and that was it. And the marketers cash in, and they impoverish the entire Nigerian masses. So if government want to work on policies that will be all-inclusive from the conception to to implementation and even evaluation, the labor has to be involved, because there is no policy that does not affect the worker directly. So if we are not involved in the policy formulation and implementation or work policy making processes, it therefore means that you have denied your voice to be heard. And the force of the masses can only be heard, through the organized labor, And again, government need to think on the issue of provision of the CNG buses, which they agreed. Today, with the removal of the fuel subsidy, everything is skyrocket. Transportation, the cost of food items in the market, they're all skyrocket. And this is getting to 1 year. The CNG buses is nowhere to be found in the street, either in Abuja, Lagos, or any other states. But what we are experiencing is that some state governors are providing vehicles, and buses for workers or some kind of relief order. That's supposed not to be the case. Because you now look at, when you look at the labor, the issue of housing and the mortgage with the PPP arrangement, it has failed. And there's what government is coming up now with the Renew Hope housing. We want to see the workability of it, because the masses are suffering with the high cost of building material. In all things, you look at it as if all policies are meant to cash the poor. Whereas it's supposed not to be so. So this is where our concern lies. And who are those managing you can see the economic team, the entire economic team, without involvement of the labor. You can see the committee set up to implement Orasoya's report without involving labor. How can you shave our head in absence?
Okay, Dr. Okon.
Nowhere the workers' voice are heard.
Okay, Dr. Okon, we're going to put you on hold for just a minute so that we can reach out to Marvelous Obomanu in Abuja. Marvelous, good morning. Do we have you now? Unfortunately, I think we're still having problems with Marvelous. But Mr. Okon, back to you. I initially asked a question regarding the ultimatum and what would happen after. But I'm going to follow that up by asking, now, what other kinds of engagements does the TUC or NLC have in place just in case these ultimatums elapse and there's nothing done? Is a strike action going to be the next resort? If it is, noting that Nigerians are going through so much currently, wouldn't that add to the amount of hardships that they're going through if they're unable to work and make money?
And even an economic standstill as well.
Exactly. So what other
we should avenues? Not be focusing only on the labor. I think government need to be talked to. And the best way to do, we have applied all our strategy, which is strategic engagement, social dialogue, in line with the ILO principle, when it comes to decent work. And you see, government looks the other way. Because when you now said after the ultimatum, what happened, when we get to the bridge, we'll cross it. But I think government need to walk the talk. Government need to live up to expectation, because this is not something that takes government unaware. If a committee is set up and there's a timeline, I think the committee need to work towards, attaining to the timeline. These are the issues. Then if strike is the language government want to hear, so be it. But I want to believe that we will not get there.
Okay, so
because
now
it will be an ill wind that will do anybody no good.
If it is a strike action that is needed, what are the considerations to the workers themselves with the amount of suffering that's currently on ground right now? A strike necessarily it's not to their advantage, because they wouldn't be able to work and they wouldn't be able to make money. So is that a considerate approach to the situation is what I'm asking?
Well, let me also tell you that strike is a right. It's a fundamental human right, because we have the right to withdraw. If government don't want to listen to the cry of the organized labor and the masses, and don't forget, even with the 35,000 naira wage award, it was when we issued ultimatum that government started working on it. And as I speak, they have only implemented to February this year. We have March, we have April, and this is May. I think government need to walk the talk. We are tired of hearing government say they want to do this. I'll just give you an instances of the CNG buses that we have not seen in the street.
We get that,
that will have solved at least 50% of transport problem we are facing now.
Very true, sir.
Today you can only get fuel through black market. Is it for how long can we live there? We live in the
Dr.
military
Okon,
era.
We wish we could let you go on
in civilian era.
We wish we could let you go on, but we have just very limited time for this hour. But thank you very much, sir, for joining us. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.